huge news for crypto as Bitcoin explodes over 30K. Also big adoption news for Bitcoin from Coinbase. The mainstream media out bashing Bitcoin again because that's all they know how to do, hating on Bitcoin all day. And the latest from Polygon. First, Bitcoin breaking out of its range. Finally, Bitcoin. Only took 3 weeks. Now look, I don't know what the price of Bitcoin is going to be at the time you watch this video, but the move above 30K was the first time since June 2022 that Bitcoin has traded above $30,000. Nice. But that's just the daily charts. What I really want to see right now is enough momentum on this price action move to sustain until the end of the week to cement a weekly close above $28,500. After 3 weeks of the most boring price action we've seen in a while, Bitcoin is finally doing something again. Very exciting. Oh, and shout out to MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor for having just like the biggest brass frickin' balls, the biggest chads in the Bitcoin game right now. They diamond handed $4 billion worth of Bitcoin right through the lows of the bear market. In fact, they bought more. Their break-even price for Bitcoin is right around 29,000 bucks. So at 30K, they're sitting at around $140 million in profit. Also, it turns out Wall Street has been loading up on MicroStrategy stocks in order to get exposure potentially to Bitcoin. Fidelity bought 97,199 MicroStrategy stocks in Q1, and Bank of America snapped up 86,147 MicroStrategy stocks. Interesting. Oh, and check out this. Bitcoin has also become the most Googled term in the USA so far this year. Keep it classy, America. I like it. That's according to the SEO software suite called Ahrefs. Search volumes for Bitcoin beat out Donald Trump to take the top spot. Bitcoin has been searched 1.9 million times in the US and 12 million times globally this year. And you will like this because while Bitcoin is the #1 most searched term in the USA, savings accounts all the way down at number 27. And probably only because people are freaking out about their savings accounts not being saved at the banks. The banks are collapsing. Bitcoin is winning. Long Bitcoin, short the banks, as they say. Oh, and China's version of TikTok called Douyin has actually integrated Bitcoin price feeds. Interesting. China is so back, man. Get ready for all that Chinese money to come in to crypto. It's gonna be crazy. Of course, we have all that news that came out of Hong Kong in the last few weeks, the ETFs, and them starting to allow retail traders to buy Bitcoin. All that stuff is huge. Absolutely. Now, this is all very exciting, but things to keep in mind are that we are going to be getting those new inflation numbers coming out for the USA tomorrow. If inflation has increased, and it's widely expected to have decreased, but if it has increased, then the market probably won't react super well. But if inflation does fall, as a lot of the market expects, once again, then it could pave the way for more bullish market action leading into the summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Also, we still have all of the regulatory uncertainty, a new Fed meeting coming up soon with new interest rate announcements. What's that going to look like? Binance used up their $1 billion already that they were using to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin broke out anyway. In spite of all the potential FUD and fear that we could see in the markets, Bitcoin pumped. Now let's look for a strong follow through and a good weekly close here. Another Bitcoin news. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong just made a big announcement. They will be integrating the Bitcoin Lightning Network. It's about damn time, Coinbase. Come on, man. Well, I've been asking you guys for years. Bitcoin's dead cheap, fast as heck. Layer 2 protocol really needs to get integrated with exchanges to see wide adoption. Now, he actually got called out on Twitter for basically ignoring the Bitcoin Lightning Network by some user who was accusing him of really not ever mentioning it or doing anything at Coinbase to bring it about. Armstrong replied to that saying, Lightning is great and it's something that we're going to integrate. Now, if Coinbase were to integrate with the Bitcoin Lightning Network, then the exchange would join other exchanges that have already integrated the Bitcoin Lightning Network like Bitfinex and Kraken and OKX. However, unlike those other exchanges, Coinbase is Coinbase. Coinbase has 110 million freaking users, man. It's one of the biggest exchanges in the world. So it's kind of a big deal. Well, Armstrong shared no further details on exactly when the Lightning Network is going to be integrated. He has been claiming to have actually tested out the Lightning Network. I mean, come on, Brian. Why did it take you so long, man? Anyway, he says that he sent Cointelegraph reporter Joe Hall $100 in Bitcoin after running a competition for the best examples of people actually using cryptocurrencies in Africa. Now, before we get into tearing apart the New York Times hit piece on Bitcoin, their latest hit piece on Bitcoin, I guess, and of course the latest news from Polygon, I wanted to let you know about Wealth Mastery. This is my weekly crypto investor report. Look, if you struggle to find the time to really dive deep into the markets and find those opportunities in crypto, then this is the newsletter for you. Every single issue is just jam-packed full of alpha. We talk about altcoins, the latest ones, the top trending ones, DeFi, technical analysis, NFTs, airdrops, and much, much more. Join our over 62,000 weekly readers by signing up for free using the link down below in the description. It's free. Check it out. Now let's talk about Polygon Matic. Polygon has become the second largest blockchain for gaming due to its surge in unique active wallets over the last few months. According to the Blockchain Games report published by DappRadar, the number of unique active wallets on Polygon hit 138,081 in March. That's an increase of 53% from February. That puts Polygon well ahead of Hive and the BNB chain, which are ranked 3rd and 4th respectively. The spike in active wallets has been because of a game that's called Hunters on Chain by the gaming developer Boomland. Now, the free-to-play game actually saw an increase in active wallets of a whopping 17,000 freaking percent and actually reached an all-time high of 55,300 users on March 9th. Now, Polygon has also been announced as the chosen blockchain for a Web3 car racing experience called Lollipop. The game is going to be written and produced by the co-writer of the Fast and Furious franchise. So that's pretty gosh darn cool. Next up, the New York frickin' Times, man. They have blasted Bitcoin mining in their latest piece titled The Real World Costs of the Digital Race for Bitcoin. This comes just a few weeks after, of course, Greenpeace bashed Bitcoin. Now, what's funny, of course, is that the New York Times has bashed basically every major improvement of technology that has advanced human civilization throughout history, at least since the paper has been in print anyway. And they probably would have been against the printing press. They've been around back then anyway. The report spreads a ton of misinformation, as you can expect, as mainstream media always does, to paint Bitcoin in the worst light possible. It claims Bitcoin uses as much energy as all the residences in New York City, and it also exaggerates the amount of fossil fuel actually used in Bitcoin mining. The Bitcoin community, of course, undefeated, comes back all over Twitter, fact-checking this article. For example, Daniel Batten, a Bitcoin ESG analyst, has explained that there are 26 Bitcoin miners in the United States and Canada that are using 90% sustainable energy. That's a story right there. Why don't they write that story, right? These people are fueling their mining activities with water and wind and the sun, and that's amazing. But of course, this article chose to focus on the sites with the least amount of renewable energy because that's the narrative that they want to push, right? They want to push us into the deadly embrace of CBDCs, right? The mainstream media, it's what they do. We have the banks collapsing out there, central banks pushing the world into a global recession, all kinds of madness. But let's bash Bitcoin over its energy use again, guys. Just the old classic, blame it on Bitcoin routine. New York Times is just cherry picking the data that fits the narrative that they want to push, just like Greenpeace did. It's all BS. Anyway, that's it. Subscribe now. I'll see you next time.